We're joined now by former APC senatorial aspirant in the FCT, Dio Benjamin's laniyi, and gender advocate, Dr. Felicia Onibon. Thank you both of you ladies for joining us on Newsnight tonight. If this were anything to go by, you'll think women were actually in the majority. When you count myself, Dio, and of course our guest in the offsite studio. But seriously, let me start with you, Dio. Why are fewer female politicians emerging, in spite of all the efforts that have gone into, you know, the whole idea of gender inclusion and what have you? What exactly is going on?
Well, let me start first of all by congratulating our three distinctive expressions in the senatorial collateral of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's 10th Assembly. These three women represent three partisan positions, but more importantly, represent what for every woman, not just for Nigeria, and our expression of election campaign wins is all about, more about the fact that they are a force, a tripartite force, and one we continue to celebrate as a game, no small game. Coming to the question about why this small number in terms of emergence, let's also flip it the other way. I think that in this particular election campaign, we, without having the statistics yet, must have had the highest number of women participation at the level of engagement when it came to politicking from the grassroots level and all the different points of engagement. Yes, the patriarchy, I being one of those expressions of the challenge that came through, came against that. But then, you know what the reality is? This time last year, we were at the gate. Now we have three, and from the gate to the house with these three, we're going to push a strong head. It's above what is partisan. It's now the power of what makes women not just a party, but a movement. So while we can be there, and yes, there's so many reasons why and how, what I've seen is that a lot of women emerged as champions, and I would like to see the media, I'd like to see you guys and everyone go and find those women who worked and have been working for eons and years at grassroots level, engaging to the polling unit what the power of their ballot and their vote is. Where women were marginalized, a lot of the women were not able to come out and vote for me during the primaries. They reorganized themselves in the FCT, and they've become a women's movement called Hope for FCT Women in Politics, coordinated themselves from the grassroots through all of the 6 local government areas, and have come to the place of forging ahead. These women I'm talking about are not elite women.
Let me go to Dr. Onibon quickly here, because the understanding here, Dr. Onibon, is how difficult has it been for women to make this incursion into Nigerian style politics?
Thank you very much. First, I'd like to say it's been a very difficult terrain for women. And for Nigeria, women have actually, played key roles, in the administration of processes towards politics. However, women have not been given adequate support and space. I know quite a few people, particularly men, will say that power is taken and not given. But we also know that when situations are critical, like the kind of situation we have in Nigeria, we are in a critical state when it comes to women's representation, that there should be deliberate efforts on the part of all stakeholders, and especially government, to make sure that there is an enabling environment for women to thrive. Rightly, during this election, we are still in the process. Women actually have shown their strength. They have, portrayed their interest, in participating actively in politics. But the process of getting to the leadership arena has been stifled by the, by the male leadership of the process. They make sure that during primaries, women don't see the light of the day, except if you are in the good books of the powers that be, and that shouldn't be. A lot of women are doing so much work from the grassroots level even to the national level. In spite of all the work they do, they are not given the opportunity, to show their strength. So, and if we all think, or if the Nigerian leadership feel that, let us leave these women, they will have to struggle to get to this space. It is, it affects everyone globally. It's a shame that Nigeria is actually lacking behind, in women representation, both in parliament and even in governance. So we are waiting that this administration, this new set of administration, and even the 10th Assembly, we are waiting to see what they will do in terms of, gender parity. We are talking about equity here. We are also talking about equality, But Nigeria, we can't really, we don't have a pride of place when it comes to women representation. Many Nigerian women are in New York right now, but, it's a shame that, our sisters from Senegal and other African countries will be looking at us and be wondering, you have powerful women and nothing is happening? You have powerful women and nothing is happening? Yet, not that we are not out there working, not that we are not out there making everybody realize the state in which we are in as a country. And that if we do not have adequate women representation, female representation in governance, then we can't, pride ourselves as a country. We are Nigerians, but where have we gotten to? Development is stifled if women are not there. Women look at deeper things, men look at peripheral things, and that is why we are where we are today. So we, for me, I feel that women have done well. Yes, we'll celebrate the gains that we have, but it's absolutely nothing compared to what we should have as a nation. This is so Nigeria we are talking about.
Let me bring you in here. How do we now change this narrative? Just like Dr. Onibon said, great Nigerian women doing great things out there. The Ngozi Okonjo-Iwealas of this world. The list actually is endless. Amina Mohammed, and the rest of them. What needs to happen, whether at the legislative end? Because look, in the 9th Assembly, they actually rejected bills to encourage this gender parity and inclusion that we're talking about. What needs to happen drastically for this to change?
Well, I think the drastic thing has happened. We've come back with a scorecard that, looking at it in the face, is almost a shame card. But the reality is this. That's what politics, the dynamics of politics is the reality. Our president-elect is coming in for the first time in the history of Nigerians' first lady representation with a 3-time senator. This is a woman who was active when it came to the propagation of bills within the National Assembly in her time and her stay. Her coming in at this point is one that engages both the senatorial in terms of our red status, not just for women, but definitely for the cause of women in the place and the status of their own legislative commonwealth in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I know this because in engaging with her, she has a very lucid, deliberate engagement when it comes to instituting values and propagating views, not as personal, but as within the context of assignment and engagement for the advocacy of women, of children,
let me
of that
in
passion.
there, because this certainly is not about the wife of the president-elect. We've seen
no. It's not about the wife. I was talking about the fact that a former senator comes into a senatorial position from a senatorial background as a first lady. Then it definitely informs the context of what we are talking about, which is a premise of which I'm going. So what is to be done is to work with the legislative mindset. Yes, I wanted to first of all establish the fact that it's not about the first lady, it's about a CV that is for all women. Ireti Kingibe, Dr. Nobele, and Dr. Banigo. What they represent is for all women. It's not a curved ball. It is the fact that we have a positional place to engage.
Let me comment. Right. Because the thing here is that we've heard Dr. Onibon, and it looks as if every time we have a party person, a party representative, they shy away from the fact that the parties within internal democracies have refused to give women a fair chance and a fair deal.
Sir, don't forget that I ran for Senate. And I came out in the FCT with the highest number of votes ever for a senatorial election for a woman. Now, let me get to this. Point on point. I have the marks in me. This is not something I'm talking about from a viewer spectatorship position.
And you're
from a woman in I'm flying, thank you. Yeah. And this is what I want to bring it to. The mindset for political engagement for women and anyone who truly wants to make a difference is to remain in the room, is to remain in the political space, is to turn it around from a political public complaint to a personal, intentional, fierce, resilient position. Politics is entitlement when you look at it from the position that I should have won, and because I didn't win, I am moving away, going to another party, or I'm going to react in a way that comes directly for the jugular of the party, the patriarchy, and all those who did that to me. I discovered as Adedayo Benjamin's laniyi that the greatest disenfranchisement to me and every woman who invested in me with their faith was to disenfranchise myself by walking away from what was, yes, a botched process, but still there was a power to remain in there and follow it through. I may have lost a primary election, but one thing I came out with was like, I haven't lost my primary direction. I'm in a party, I'm staying in the party, and I am going by the power of my deliberate restraint and not reaction. Going to discover what turns provocation into the power of engagement, conversation, and opportunity for others. Because I remained in the room, in the party, in the FCT, in the North Central place, I have emerged in a status position as a stakeholder, North Central.
Right.
I am not from the North. I am a woman. I'm Dio from
Very
media.
Well said,
I'm the disruption. I'm the last one they expected, but I've stayed in the room. And you know what?
Still
I've grown a movement.
Fantastic.
And the movement has grown into other things. And I'll tell you what, I became a catalyst. Let me tell you something that's very
I think we're out of time. We're really out of time.
Yeah, we have to leave it here.
We'd like to thank you both.
Benjamin's laniyi, thank you so much. And of course, Dr. Fidelia Onibon, thank you both of you ladies. The point being made here is, if you fall today, you can always rise again. Don't leave the room. That's a message from Dio laniyi.